Time now for Sit 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. I'm about to say something I've never said following a Maple Leafs playoff loss. Didn't matter. Not after what we witnessed in the first. Not after we saw Leafs captain John Tavares unconscious, the type of unconscious that takes your breath away. Not after we watched him get stretchered off last night. What also added to everyone's anxiety, by the way, is that the Leafs refused to update his condition publicly during the game. Not sure why. But after it was done, Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe said that Tavares was, quote, conscious and communicating, end quote. I'm sure we'll get an update later today. I want to close the commentary before we get to Steve Dangle with this picture. This is what John Tavares posted the day he signed with the Leafs 3 years ago, a photo of him sleeping in his Leaf bed sheets as a kid. He loves this team. He's always loved this team. One hopes that his playoff journey this year at the age of 30 isn't over, but after watching that last night, I can't imagine we'll see him again this year. Well, you can hope. Steve Dangle of Sportsnet was doing a live stream on YouTube last night while the incident took place, and he was on for the entire game. Steve, I love you for jumping on this morning. After having literally a few hours to process what you saw, what was your reaction?
It's similar to what you just said. I've never had a reaction like this to a Leaf playoff loss ever. I don't want to say acceptable, because I mean, for as good as the team played, especially without their captain, they did hand the game to Montreal. 3 puck over the glass penalties in one game is something I've never seen before. But the emotion of Tavares' injury, and it was just incredible to me that, like, while they're setting up the stretcher and everything, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to play a game after this. So that was kind of my feeling. It didn't feel normal.
What was the secondary story last night? Because obviously Tavares was the headline. In your mind, was it Carey Price looked pretty good? Was it I lost track of how many breakaways and partial breakaways the Leafs gave up to the Habs? Was it the Leafs still look like a team that don't like to be hit a lot? Like, what was the secondary headline for you?
I thought the secondary headline was the Leafs, even without their captain, an $11 million player, a guy who scored 47 goals in this league. They should have won that game. They really should have. Their penalty kill did such a good job in the face of adversity. Their 4 lines did such a good job. I thought Sheldon Keefe did such a good job juggling. And the goal that ends up coughing the game up is a shorthanded goal. And I mean, we can talk about how it's unacceptable to give up a shorthanded goal. Paul Byron, my goodness, that's going to be on every highlight reel forever. He was on his knees. He was falling down. I didn't expect him to get the shot off, let alone score. So what I would say to Leaf fans is this. I don't think you're going to get another game like that in this series. I do still think they're going to pull this series off, but playoff Price is a thing, and even though he hadn't played an NHL game in about a month, you got to put respect on his name.
And one last quick thing, and I think you and I agree on this based on watching you last night. The Nick Foligno fighting of Corey Perry after the Tavares incident was completely unnecessary, and the Leafs at times just don't look like a team that knows how to defend themselves properly because, quite frankly, they don't do that a lot. So just want to get my 2 cents in there. Sorry, you got 10 seconds, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, I think those two things go hand in hand. I mean, Perry didn't mean to do it, but also you want to show that you care and you want to stick up for your team. He's trying to get the adrenaline going in the room. I'm not sure that was the thing, but I didn't have to do it, did I?
No. Steve Dangle of Sportsnet, again, he live streamed for 3 hours last night. You were brilliant. Love you. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thanks for having me on.
Game 2, Leafs Habs Saturday night, tomorrow, Hockey Night in Canada. Get your popcorn ready. Dr. Eileen Davila will be joining us next, the Toronto Chief Medical Officer of Health. Again, the province yesterday releasing a 3-stage plan on reopening. Dr. Davila is taking your calls. What would you like to ask her? 1-866-267-3797. Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca or on Twitter @BreakfastTV. It's 6:45, Toronto. Good Friday morning. It's a long weekend. We got that. You sound off next. You're watching BT.